Picture this. The most famous woman on planet Earth, someone who has spent over a decade telling the world she is a proud, devoted, unapologetic cat lady, quietly hiding a fluffy white secret from millions of fans for almost an entire year. No leaks, no paparazzi shots, no hints on Instagram, just silence. And then, out of nowhere, during the biggest weekend of her life, that secret finally stepped out into the light, walking down the stairs of a private jet like it owned the runway. This is the story of how Taylor Swift, cat mom extraordinaire, ended up with a dog, and how her new husband, Travis Kelce, played a much bigger role in it than anyone realized. Let's rewind for a second, because to understand why this moment felt so shocking, you have to understand who Taylor Swift has been for the last 15 years. If you know anything about her, you know about the cats. Meredith Grey, named after the Grey's Anatomy character. Olivia Benson, named after Mariska Hargitay's tough-as-nails detective from Law & Order SVU. And Benjamin Button, named after Brad Pitt's character from the film about a man aging backward. 3 cats, 3 pop culture references, and one very clear message. Taylor Swift was a cat person, through and through. She's talked about it in interviews more than once. She once told Time magazine, with Benjamin Button sitting right there on the cover next to her, that she was completely obsessed with her cats. She called them dignified, independent, capable of handling their own lives without her. It almost sounded like she admired them for not needing her, the same way some people admire a good roommate who pays rent on time and never asks for favors. And there's a deeper layer to this too. If you go back and watch her documentary Miss Americana, in it, she actually pokes a little fun at her own mother, Andrea, for owning a Great Dane named Kitty. She jokes about what it's like to fly with a dog that big, comparing the experience to traveling with a pony. It's a small moment, but it says a lot. Taylor Swift, at least publicly, seemed to view big dogs as chaos. Cats, on the other hand, were calm, elegant, easy to travel with, easy to love from a slight, respectful distance. So when word started spreading that she might have a dog now, a lot of longtime fans didn't just find it surprising. They found it almost unbelievable, like hearing that a lifelong vegetarian had secretly opened a steakhouse. So how did this all start? Believe it or not, the very first clue wasn't about Taylor at all. It was about Travis. Back in early 2025, Travis's older brother Jason Kelce was a guest on a podcast, sharing stories the way brothers do when they think nobody outside the room is really paying attention. Jason mentioned visiting Travis's house and noticing something odd. One of his brother's couches, a very expensive, very fancy green velvet piece from an Italian designer, had been shoved awkwardly against the wall. Jason asked him about it. Why move the couch? And Travis's answer was simple. He had gotten a puppy, and that puppy had chewed a hole straight through the back of it. At the time, almost nobody connected the dots. It was just a funny story about a rich athlete's ruined furniture. Nobody was thinking, wait a minute, does this mean Taylor Swift has a dog now too? Because remember, at that point in time, this may have simply been Travis's own personal puppy, something separate from his relationship with Taylor. The story faded into the background, just another cute anecdote buried in hours of podcast conversation. But then, months later, something else happened. In March, eagle-eyed fans on social media spotted footage of a member of Taylor Swift's own security team walking a large, fluffy white dog through an airport in Westchester County, New York. A Samoyed, by the looks of it. Thick, snowy fur. A face that almost looks like it's smiling all the time, which is actually a famous trait of the breed. People call it the Sammy smile. And there it was, trotting through an airport with Taylor Swift's own security detail, not Travis's. Now think about that for a second. If this was just Travis's dog, why would Taylor's security be the ones walking it? That single video clip was enough to make die-hard fans sit up and start paying very, very close attention. Was this puppy actually shared between them? Had Taylor Swift, the woman who joked about her mom's Great Dane, quietly become a dog owner too? Nobody knew for sure. It stayed a rumor, floating in the background, mostly ignored by the mainstream. Because let's be honest, there was something much bigger dominating headlines that spring and summer. The wedding. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce had been building toward their wedding for what felt like forever, ever since their engagement was announced back in August of 2025. And when the big day finally came, on July 3rd, at Madison Square Garden in New York City, the entire internet basically stopped what it was doing. Every outlet wanted a piece of this story. What did she wear? Who attended? How much did it cost to book out an entire arena for a wedding? And somewhere in the middle of all that noise, almost as a footnote, something slipped through that nobody expected. Leaked wedding photos began circulating, and tucked among the images from inside the celebration was something strange. A framed photo, displayed as part of the wedding decor, showing Taylor Swift cuddled up next to a fluffy white dog, with Travis Kelce standing beside her. Not a candid, backstage picture. A framed photo, displayed at their wedding, on purpose, which meant this wasn't some accidental slip-up. This dog wasn't a secret they were desperately hiding. It was something they clearly loved enough to put on display in front of family and friends on the most important day of their lives. Once that photo got out, the floodgates opened. Fans who had been quietly speculating for months suddenly had confirmation that they weren't imagining things. There really was a dog, and it really did seem to belong to both of them, not just Travis. But here's the twist. Even with that photo circulating, Taylor Swift herself still hadn't said a single word about it. No caption, no announcement, no cute Instagram reveal with the dog's name in big letters. The silence was almost louder than the photo itself. Then came the moment that finally, truly confirmed everything to the outside world. About a week and a half after the wedding, Taylor and Travis were photographed heading off on what looked like a honeymoon trip, flying into Palm Beach, Florida. And stepping down the stairs of that private jet, walking carefully behind Handler, was the dog. Not hidden, not rushed inside a car, just casually descending the aircraft steps in full view of photographers, fluffy white fur catching the Florida sunlight, looking every bit like a dog who already knew he was about to become famous. Travis Kelce followed right behind, dressed in white, wearing a red cap, scooping up luggage like any regular guy getting off a flight with his family. Except this wasn't any regular guy. This was one half of the most talked about couple on the planet, and the internet exploded within minutes. Clips of the dog walking down those stairs spread across every platform: TikTok, Instagram, X, all of it. Fans zoomed in on every detail. The thickness of the fur, the shape of the face, that signature Samoyed smile. Within hours, the identity of the breed felt basically confirmed, even without an official statement. And this is where things get even more interesting, because reports began to surface claiming that this dog hadn't just arrived recently. According to sources close to the situation, Taylor and Travis had actually had this dog for close to a full year already. A year. Which means if that's true, this wasn't some spontaneous newlywed decision. This wasn't a couple getting married and immediately deciding, hey, let's get a pet together to symbolize our new life. No, this dog had already been part of their world for months and months before most of the public ever laid eyes on him. He had already been there through engagement announcements, wedding planning, secret trips, all of it, quietly living behind the scenes while the world focused on rings and venues and guest lists. Sources described the couple as, quote, very happy with their, quote, shared pet. Shared being the key word there. Not Travis's dog. Not Taylor's dog. Their dog. A symbol, whether intentional or not, of exactly what marriage is supposed to represent. Two separate lives, two separate routines, two separate identities, slowly merging into one shared existence. Taylor Swift, the woman who once joked about big dogs being like traveling with a pony, was now living daily life with a large, energetic Samoyed. And clearly, based on every report, she wasn't just tolerating it. She was happy. So why did it happen? Why would someone so publicly devoted to her cats end up opening her home and her heart to a dog? Nobody has stated an official reason, because neither Taylor nor Travis has directly addressed it in an interview. But when you piece together the timeline, a pretty clear picture starts to form. Travis Kelce already loved dogs long before Taylor ever entered his life. During his years-long relationship before Taylor, he was known as a dedicated dog dad to two pups, animals he clearly loved and cared for deeply. When that relationship ended, those dogs stayed with his ex-partner, and by all accounts, that loss weighed on him. So when he built a new life, a new home, and eventually a new marriage with Taylor Swift, it makes sense that he would want dogs back in his world again. Not as a replacement for what came before, but as something new, something built fresh with the person he now calls his wife. And for Taylor, stepping into a life with Travis meant stepping into his world just as much as he stepped into hers. Their homes were merging. Their routines were merging. And somewhere in that process, this Samoyed puppy entered the picture, not from Taylor going out and choosing a dog on her own, but very possibly from Travis bringing that piece of himself into their shared life, the same way someone brings a favorite childhood recipe or an old family tradition into a new marriage. Slowly, without any big dramatic announcement, that dog stopped being just Travis's and became theirs. Oh, of course, This being the internet, speculation didn't stop at just the how and the why. Fans immediately turned their attention to something else entirely: the name. If Taylor Swift's cats are named after beloved television and film characters, surely this dog has some clever, meaningful name too, right? Some fans guessed at connections to Travis's football world. Others guessed at hidden references buried in Taylor's music, the same way she's known to bury Easter eggs in everything she creates. But here's the thing. As of now, neither Taylor nor Travis has confirmed the dog's actual name to the public. It remains, technically, still a mystery. A blank space, if you'll allow the pun, that fans are absolutely dying to fill in. What we do know is that this dog is now, undeniably, a permanent member of one of the most famous families on the planet. He's flown on private jets. He's been photographed at Palm Beach. He's technically already made an appearance, framed and displayed, at a wedding held at Madison Square Garden, one of the most iconic venues in the entire world. Most dogs never come close to that kind of spotlight in their entire lives, and this one hadn't even been publicly confirmed yet when it happened. And somewhere back home, quietly living their own lives away from all this fanfare, are Meredith, Olivia, and Benjamin Button, Taylor's 3 beloved cats, the ones she spent over a decade proudly showing off as her true family. The dog's arrival doesn't erase them. If anything, it just makes this blended, slightly chaotic, wildly famous household a little more complete. A superstar singer, a record-setting tight end, 3 dignified, independent cats, and now 1 large, fluffy, camera-ready dog, quietly stealing hearts 1 airport photo at a time. So no, there hasn't been some big dramatic tell-all interview where Travis Kelce sits down and explains, step by step, exactly why they brought a dog into Taylor Swift's famously feline household. But when you follow the trail, from a chewed-up couch, to a security guard walking a mystery Samoyed, to a framed photo hidden inside wedding decor, to a jet landing in Palm Beach, the story tells itself. This wasn't a spontaneous decision. It was something built slowly, quietly, over almost a full year, hidden in plain sight until the moment they were finally ready to let the world see it. And honestly, in a relationship that has played out so publicly, so loudly, in front of millions of watching eyes, maybe that's the most surprising twist of all. Somewhere in the middle of all that noise, they still found room to keep one small, fluffy secret just for themselves, for almost a year, before finally letting it walk down those stairs and into the spotlight for good.